Hi, Lovebugs. Welcome to another episode of Girls Night. Today we have another guest with us, and you are not ready for the level of cool that we are about to dive into today. Joining me is the brilliant, bold, and badass Kate Assaraf, founder of Dip Haircare, a plastic-free, high-performance hair care brand that's flipping the script on sustainability in the beauty industry. Kate's not just building a brand, she's building a movement that is challenging the beauty industry, calling out greenwashing, and creating products that actually work without compromising the planet. Her mission with Dip is rooted in transparency, innovation, and a whole lot of heart. She's the daughter of immigrant parents, a proud convert to Judaism, and the kind of woman who leads with both fire and soul. We're talking about everything today, from launching a brand with a conscience to spiritual identity to what it really takes to stand for something in an industry that often just wants to sell you more stuff. So pour a glass, get cozy, and let's welcome the one and only Kate Assaraf to the show. Hi, everyone. Life can get a little crazy, so let's talk about it. If you're ready to dive deeper, talk about what really matters, and feel a little more empowered, then you're in the right place. I'm your host, Carly Dockstader. I'm a life coach, baker, dog mom of two, and you're always there for you gal pal. And I'm so excited to have you join me. So grab your fuzzy socks, put on your comfy pants, and let's have girls' night.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
It's
course. So
like
welcome, Kate. Thank you for
that was
joining.
that was a really warm and lovely introduction. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to have you on. For everybody who's listening, me and Kate have talked before, and she is just awesome. So you're going to really enjoy listening to what she has to say today. Do you want to go ahead and start off the show by maybe introducing yourself a little bit and tell us a little bit about your backstory and how you got here today with Dip Hair Care?
Sure. Well, my name is Kate, and I started Dip, a plastic-free hair care brand, and I started it because of frustration with sustainability in general. And I discovered that like maybe 10 years ago when I was pregnant with my first son, I realized that plastic was not only bad like accumulating on the planet. We've been talking about accumulation forever, but it was also bad the byproducts of plastic and endocrine disruptors were disrupting aquatic life, they were disrupting human health, and it just frightened me so much. So I tried 10 years ago to make the changes, and there weren't a lot of options back then. So I tried every version of hair care that existed at the time and then continued to exist. But it ended up creating more waste because I was so unsatisfied by the plastic-free options that were out there than it did, bring me any joy. And so like behind the scenes, I was projecting out being plastic free, but in the shower, I was going back to the bottle. I was going back to like my really well-loved salon brands. And your hair is something you wear every day. And I knew that I could solve this problem. I'd been in the beauty industry for maybe 20 years, and I was like, I can solve this. And that's how Dip came to be.
That's awesome. And I love your focus on sustainability because what did you say? Back to the bottle.
Yeah,
One, I love that. But it's so true because I feel like, well, being in Colorado, I feel like we are a lot more conscious about the plastic that we use and the impact
yeah,
that we're having on the environment. But it is so hard to find a solution for beauty products like that because everything comes in those plastic packages. So that's part of the reason that I really love this brand too, is because, I mean, you really don't need the plastic at all, which is so cool.
totally. Yeah, and it's crazy because you think you want to make plastic-free changes, but what happens for a lot of people is they're willing the first time to invest in something that's plastic-free to give it a whirl and save the planet. And then when they find out it stinks, they might be ready to invest a second time and pay more and all this, but they don't get you don't get a third chance at trying to get someone into the plastic-free movement. Like once they try two really expensive bad deodorants. They're not it's illogical for people to like be expected to try a third, a fourth, a fifth. And that's kind of what you see in sustainability. So many people have been like, yeah, tried bars, hate them. Tried like eco-friendly deodorant, I can't stand them. And they're just have like made their decision. And so I am one of those people. I was like, ugh, like how many bad deodorants do I have to buy before I find the good one? Like they're 14,
Mhm.
18 bucks a piece sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I thought about what it's like to be a consumer, like a well-meaning consumer ready to like put more money on the table, save the earth, and like that purchasing thing has to feel like. And so I focused on it, on the hair care being so good. It was my mission to make really amazing plastic-free hair care that would convert people who were like still using bottles. Like there are people that use bar hair care and they're happy and I can leave them alone. But the only way to move the needle is to convert people that would never ever touch a bar. And that's what we tried to do.
I think that's so cool. And for me, when I first heard of like bar shampoo and bar conditioner, like you're saying, I was like a little bit suspicious. I was like, is it actually gonna work? Because I was
Yeah.
so used to the like liquid shampoos and conditioners. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of there's this one laundry detergent that I use too, and it's just like sheets. It almost
Yeah.
looks like a dryer sheet, but it's laundry detergent. And I was so suspicious of it at first, but it works so well because if you think about it, a lot of those products, including the shampoo and the conditioner and our beauty products, has a lot of water in it. So I feel like you
Yeah.
just kind of took some of that out. But I feel like with the bar hair care scene, I feel like it's like up and coming, right? And it's really trending
Yeah.
right now. So how are you making Dip different and how are you really standing out from the crowd, given that it's kind of like a trending thing right now?
Sure. I have three things for that. One, the shampoo bar is made with people who shower more frequently in mind. So you don't have to choose between a shower and a good hair day. Like I run every day in the woods and
Mhm.
I have to shower every day. I got to wash off ticks, like dirt, mud, all those things. And I wanted, that's the conventional wisdom is like you shouldn't shower every day because it'll strip the natural oils in your hair. And I was
Right.
like, well, what if we just made a more gentle shampoo? And someone like me who's like training for half marathons or trail races or, someone who's a triathlete, like what if we made it for someone so that they can train and not have to worry about like the hat day, the bun day, like in between washes. So that's how the shampoo is different. And then the conditioner is made, it's an amazing conditioner. For me, I used to use Oribe, and the conditioner bar will last me 12 tubes of Oribe Gold Lust. So like for one $32 bar saves me over $500 a year in just
Yeah.
conditioner. But also I train and I swim and I surf really poorly. So when I come out of the water, I always used to bring bottled conditioner to the beach and, just to put in my hair as a leave-in when I came out of the ocean or the pool. And so I wanted the conditioner bar to double as an after swim detangler. And
Oh,
so you just dip the bar in water, run it down really wet hair, and like it solves that problem. So if you have like long beautiful hair or short curly hair, any kind of hair, like it will just melt those tangles away. And then the third thing is that I prioritize small stores. So I use the brand to drive people into plastic-free stores where those store owners have done all the homework for you and chose the best of the best plastic-free items so that you don't have to experience that like deodorant regret or
mhm.
like the bamboo toothbrush regret, all of those things that you paid more for that stink. Like these zero waste stores or refilleries, like many of which are in Colorado where you are. It's
Yeah.
awesome to there. Like they do all the homework for you. And if I can use my brand to get people in that type of store, that like makes me really happy.
Yeah, I think that's so cool. And even in the packaging for everybody who's listening, when you get your package in the mail, if you order from the Dip Hair Care website, like there is even information inside the package driving you to those stores. And there's a store locator, which I thought was so cool to be able to just really take the guesswork out of it because sometimes it can be a little bit harder to find those things if you're not in a place like Colorado that's very like forward thinking, I would say, in that front.
Yeah.
But it's so cool that you actually live behind your values and your brand. And to me, it's very apparent in every interaction that I've had with UK, but also every interaction that I've had with the brand that you actually live those values
Yeah.
throughout the company, which is so cool to see.
Thank you. I get criticized a lot for those values. Like I was on a call the other day with someone in the beauty industry and they're like, you have to be on Amazon to be taken seriously. And I'm like, but if I do that, it would kill the business of all these small entrepreneurs around the country. And so like I don't agree with that. I don't think I need to put something on Amazon as convenient as it is for people because
Hmm.
I want them to get that postcard. Like I can't control like what goes to someone and I want someone to be like, "Oh my God, the store locator, like I didn't know that this store popped up in my town or this salon or wherever." And like it makes me happy to bring people back to face commerce because
Hmm.
I think we've lost that. And I don't know, as a population, right? Like we've lost
Right.
face-to-face commerce, and there's something so special about purchasing something from someone where they have to look you in the eye and be like, I am backing this product, selling it to you. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like that's something that people are really craving too, is that face-to-face connection. Like, I feel like we've gone through so much time where it's like all on the computer, all on social, all on all
yeah,
this stuff. And there's a lot of benefits to all those things, but I think people really do crave that in-person connection. Like for me, used to be a huge fan of shopping online. Like you,
yeah,
I was one of those people having things shipped to me every single day if I could. But I really, I mean, one, I feel like when you're in person, you're getting that connection, like you said, but you also get that quality control right off the bat because I think a
totally.
lot of people can relate with this where I mean, I went through a period where I had a lot of beef with Amazon. Don't come for me, but but I was getting all these things that just were not high quality, even though I was paying a ton of money for them on Amazon. So
Totally.
I actually prefer shopping in person, and that's why it's so
Yeah.
cool that you get to go into the refillery and you get to have everything refilled, which on that note too, I actually have the dip. It's like the hair body oil,
Oh
and when you
yeah.
get it, it comes in a glass container. And
Mhm.
to your point with the with plastic containers, that actually like is bad too, just having the plastic around and products
Yeah.
inside the plastic. So I actually really appreciate that it comes in a glass container that you can refill and reuse over and over and over and over again.
Thank you. It found the right person. Like that's what
Yeah.
it's supposed to do. Yeah, it's I want people to realize like, you know, it's important to support the entrepreneurs in your town, even if
Mhm.
they seem like small potatoes, which is like not fair to call them that. But like, people put a lot of trust in like a bigger, a bigger retailer. But a lot of the times it's the smaller ones that spend the extra time doing the research of what goes on the shelf. And I think that that's something really special. And I think it's really special to, embrace where you live and pour your money into the place that you chose to live and make that money work for you.
Mhm.
I think there's something really cool about, inadvertently supporting your librarians when you're shopping in a local store. Like that's I think a really important part of the fiber of community. And it's been kind of eroded, I think not by choice, not by consumer choice during the COVID years, but like it's time to bring it back and kind of remember who we all are.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And I'm just talking personally. I'm also a very like touchy person. Like I like
Me too.
touching I like touching the things that I buy. And I'm probably like a store owner's like worst nightmare because I'm like going through the clothes like this. But but I love being able to actually touch it and feel it and like experience the whole thing rather than just get it shipped to my door. It's
Yeah,
just there's something so special about that experience.
I think so too. I think it's also cool when you go into a store the second time and the store owner recognizes you. Like it's a kind
Yeah.
of a warm, cozy feeling that you're like, oh, you remember.
Yeah. And I think mom and pop shops are really great at that, and doing
Yeah,
special things for their customers like that.
I think so too.
What were some of the hardest lessons that you learned while trying to balance performance and planet when you were creating the formulations for this product? Because I feel like how you mentioned that with the deodorant earlier, sometimes one can suffer in exchange for the other, but I feel
Yeah.
like you did a really good job balancing that. So can you talk a little bit about that too?
Sure. I think the reality that hit me hard is that the plastic free part of it is like the third most important part for consumers. They want it to be the first part. Like well-meaning consumers think, okay, I'm going to go plastic free and like that's what's important to them, but it's not. Because if it was, everyone would be happy with the options that were already out there. And for
Right.
me, like I thought plastic free was the most important thing when I was a consumer of this before I started my own. But actually, the most important thing was how well it worked. And like you just can't get beyond that part of product development. You have to make sure that it works. And I found out very quickly that I was not alone in that situation. People were like, I can't find a good conditioner bar for the life of me. And I was like, I am telling you, like I made it and I made it, for people who really took their hair seriously. That's why Dip is sold in salons like around
Hmm.
the country is because it's actually attracting like hairstylists. They're like, I can't believe that this conditioner bar actually works.
Hmm.
So that was a really tough pill to swallow as like an eco-friendly person. Like,
Right.
oh, it's actually not the plastic free part that people care about. It's actually how good they look.
Hmm.
And I'll be the first one in line to say like that. is me as well.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like people do have good intentions when they're going plastic free, but to
They
your
do.
point, like the product still has to do what the product needs to do, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
mean, with the conditioner bar, you just mentioned it, but like the first time I used it, I was also thinking like, is this actually going to like
Yeah.
spread through all the places in my hair that I needed to spread through? And it
Hmm.
did. And I was in the shower, I was like, oh my God, this is actually amazing. And the shampoo bar lathered up really, really well, which I was wondering if it was going to actually lather up the very first time I used it too. And it did. And the first time I took a shower with it, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is like, it blew me out of the water the first time I used it.
That makes me so happy. I've literally had people call me from their towel, like out of the shower in their towel. They're like, I cannot believe that this stuff works. And like
Yes.
that's the most validating thing ever. And it's mostly the reason we've never really had to advertise. It's mostly a word of mouth brand.
Right.
Um, and if someone finds Dip, they usually find it because someone has recommended it to them. And I think that's really fun.
Yeah, that is fun, but I think it also just speaks to the quality of and all the time that you put into it because I
Yeah.
mean, even after the first time that I used it, I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sold." Like I never want to use another shampoo again because one, it smells amazing, but also I travel for business and this was actually a perk that I didn't think of when I was first getting it, but it's really, really easy to travel with and if you're somebody that's listening and you travel for business, like being in sales, you travel a lot typically
Yeah.
to different events to meet with different people. And so you get really good at having just your carry-on so that you don't have to check a bag. But even then, like it can be kind of a pain in the butt to have just your 3 ounce liquids and to make sure they
Totally.
don't spill. And it just takes up a lot more space. But these bars, they're so easy to travel with because it's literally just like a bar of shampoo and a bar of conditioner and it stays dry. You don't have to worry about the liquid limits. And I think you said it lasts for almost a year, each of the bars. I'm sure like depending on how much you use it,
Yeah.
but
The
you don't have
the
to worry about it
conditioner.
running out on your trip.
Yeah, totally. The conditioner for me, like I use way more conditioner than I use shampoo, like
Same.
for in my life, you know.
Hmm.
And conditioner bar is like the everlasting gobstopper. It just is so hard to use quickly. And the shampoo, probably most people purchase that maybe 2 to 4 times a year.
Okay.
But the conditioner bar is the thing that just freaking lasts. And
Amazing.
a lot of that was just kind of my own little I don't know, it was a tribute to people like myself, like my best friend who just, she has curly hair, so she would plow through conditioner. Like a bottle
Hmm.
barely lasted her at all. And so I thought, like, why not make it last so long that it actually saves people money? Because people are so used to sustainability being more expensive. And
Hmm.
you're like, well, it doesn't have to be that way. You can actually save someone a lot of money with this. Um,
Hmm.
and that's been really fun too to see people like they'll come back 2 years later and be like, I cannot believe this lasted this long. Or someone who used to
Yeah,
buy conditioner every 2 to 3 weeks, they're like, this lasted me 6 to 8 months.
that's
It's so cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, I think you said it in our previous conversation, not in this recording. But you mentioned that your whole goal is to give people better products, not to make it so they have to buy more. And that
Yeah.
resonated so much because I feel like a lot of companies these days are focused just on like that bottom line and
Yeah.
what can we do to make people buy another product or to have to buy this product again sooner. But I think it's really cool that
Totally.
you actually have kind of like the opposite focus, saying like, we only want you to buy like what you actually need. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool when you mentioned that too.
Thank you. Yeah, I do want people to buy less. It's easier on the earth. It's easier on your wallets. And like it's I'm not trying to like stunt the economy, right? Like
Right.
that's not what I'm saying. That's a very extreme thing version of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that if you purchase just less stuff, it's better for the economy. Like be more thoughtful and careful with what you're purchasing. It's better for your bank account too. But
Hmm.
marketers have figured out like that dopamine hit that people get from shopping. And if we could just unravel that a little bit, like it would be better for the planet. And I think people are starting to kind of wake up a little bit. I think people are tired
Hmm.
of being bombarded by emails, retargeting. Like, you
Hmm.
visit a site once and then it follows you around like a crazy ex-boyfriend for months.
Yes.
Like, leave me alone. I don't want the rug. I don't
Yes.
want it, you know?
You unsubscribe like 4 times and it's like, why do you keep coming back?
Yeah, because they purposely divide you into all these marketing lists on your like if you click one thing, you're on one list, and if you click on another thing, you're on another. So they the unsubscribe is like fruitless for a customer. And like that's like crazy that it's
Yeah.
allowed, you know?
I didn't even know that that was a thing. I was always
Oh
wondering.
yeah.
I didn't
When
know
they
that
say
they put you on
unsubscribe,
separate
it's like to a
lists.
specific like list within
Okay.
their list. So it's not unscri like sometimes they have unsubscribe from all, or it's like unsubscribe from marketing emails, or like it would
Oh,
like curly hair emails or whatever. It's
right.
crazy.
That is crazy. What the heck? I'm glad that I know that though. Because I
Yeah,
was
they're
literally driving myself crazy sometimes. I'm like, I swear I unsubscribed from this. Like, is this, did I not? I was like gaslighting myself.
me too. I didn't know that until someone explained it to me either. And I was like, oh my God, like why would you do this to your customers? Is like the
Yeah.
sale worth that much? And
Yeah.
you're like, once you make someone angry as a brand, it's really hard to get them to ever come back. So why
hmm
bother? You
Yeah.
know?
And I feel like negative word of mouth also spreads. Like
Yeah.
if you can look at Yelp as like the biggest example of that, like people are always so quick to say the things that like aren't working, and
Yeah.
they're usually a lot slower to share the things that are working. So, I mean, when you have somebody that's sharing about your brand, about how great it is, then I think
Mhm.
that's saying like double, triple, quadruple that it's like a great brand because like the second something bad happens, people are like, nope, done, cutting it off,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, totally. And like, so we had like a product issue earlier in the year where
hmm
we, with the dry oil, it was just like, it was maybe only like 15 customers were affected, where they
Yeah.
got the smell of it was like a little off. One of our suppliers sent
Oh,
us the
interesting.
ingredient that was like off, and it wasn't dangerous. It was just off. So what we
hmm
did was we proactively we didn't wait for people to complain. We like told those customers, hey, like, we think your oil might be like have a compromised ingredient. It's still safe. Don't worry if you've used it, but like
hmm
give it back. We'll replace it. And we also sent them gift cards, like
Oh,
so they
cool.
can. So like, there's ways to handle things as a company that
hmm
make people happy, you
hmm
know. And I try really hard to express my gratitude to our customers because without them, we would have no company. And
Right.
like I watch so often, or even when I'm in like a purchase pattern of some other company, like they're trying everything to never engage with you again, except for sales. Like when a company throws me into like an AI customer service
Ugh,
hell loop,
yeah.
like I'm already so angry when it starts that
hmm
I can't get over. Like I get like exponentially angrier.
Yes.
And so we try, well, it's not that we try, we offer human customer service is a big point of difference
Amazing.
for us.
Class.
Thanks. Well, I want to be treated the way I expect to be treated, you know, like you put your money into something and like it makes so much more sense for to just treat people as humans. Like,
hmm
why are companies so scared of their own customers? That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so cool too that you do that because you are so right. Like when I get on the phone and there's already an issue, and then I'm just with like this bot that isn't even giving me an option that's close to what I need, and then I can't find an operator or whoever. It's the most frustrating thing in the world when it
Yeah.
could have been like such an easy fix.
Totally. I like people don't mind waiting a couple extra hours for an email back
Right.
from a human. Like they
Right.
don't need that immediate like fix this right this second. They're so much happier by the time like we respond, which is usually within like unless it's overnight, within a couple hours, like
Right.
where everything's happy and golden. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder what it's like to be on the other side of angry customer service emails that start with AI, you know?
Yeah. Probably also annoying. When I was in college, I used to work at like the registrar's office for my
Yeah.
school, which like we would deal with like angry parents calling in wanting to know about their kids' grades, which is like illegal. You can't tell them about their kids' grades because their kids are adults now, so they have their own autonomy. So
Yeah.
it'd be like a lot of that. But like from my experience in that is like first and foremost, people just want you to like hear them and what they're saying
Right.
and like understand that like why they're mad at a problem. And
Yeah.
like AI can do a lot of things. I'm sure AI will be able to do even more things really quickly in the future, but that is something that AI will never be able to do. That's something that you need a human with
Yeah.
empathy and emotions and feelings to actually be able to convey that to a customer or to a person.
Totally. And even if AI could take it on, it's good for any business to know what the issues are.
Hmm.
right? Like,
Right.
is the issue with shipping? Is it with the product? Is it with the smell? Like, what is it? What's your gripe? Or more
Right.
often than not, we get like nice customer service emails, but
Oh, that's good.
when if someone's like like a lot of times people just reach out and are like, thank you for creating like a product that solves XYZ.
Hmm.
Mostly detangling. Parents write to me about the detangling woes of if they have
Hmm.
daughters with long hair and they're little, and
Hmm.
like it's pain-free detangling for
That's
parents or
nice.
daughters, which is like so nice. And that was something I didn't try and solve for. Well, I didn't consciously try and solve for, but that has become like a kind of an amazing thing about the conditioner bar.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to know like AI doesn't appreciate the good stuff too. Like
Hmm.
there's no one on the other side to appreciate the bad
Yeah.
and the good. It's
Right,
crazy.
exactly. We mentioned it a little bit, but you are the daughter of immigrant parents. So I feel like our people sometimes there's like this stereotype about like immigrant parents being like really strict and having these like very strong values and morals. So I'm curious what your experience in that area was and how your upbringing shaped the way that you show up as a founder and a leader of your business today.
Sure. So my father is Iranian, and he, like most Iranian fathers, he had very strict protocols, and he wanted, a doctor or an engineer or a
Right.
mathematician in the family. Like that's just what he wanted. And my mother was more like whimsical and artsy, but also a scholar. So she was an anthropologist. She got her PhD. She, it was crazy. She raised my three older siblings in Iran in the desert as like a blonde British woman before
Wow.
the revolution, and then they came over to New Jersey when after the Shah and the Iranian regime changed, right? And so these two people were so different that they ended up getting divorced. And like,
Right.
and then my dad ended up marrying a Persian Jewish woman who was amazing. And my stepsisters from my stepmom, like they went to Harvard. They were dream stepsisters. They went to Harvard and Penn, and like were super overachievers, like everything a Persian dad would want.
Okay,
And
but you
then
say that as if you're not an overachiever, being a CEO of a
I,
company.
well, I'm a
Let's
little bit
continue
more
though.
whimsical. Like I am not. I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel this tremendous pressure to be like a big shot CEO,
Right.
like probably what would make my dad the most proud, but he is proud of my business that I run. And then, but my mom, my dad and my stepmom lived like a more like a wealthy life. And then my mom lived a very humble, poor life, basically.
Right.
And I when I kind of do a cost assessment of the two, right? If I like look like bird's eye view of the two, like my mom was much happier with less money and being the freedom of time and being able to
Hmm.
create and just to learn languages. So I and she was very, very much one of those people that was community oriented um and like really, really did everything she could to help others. Like she was incredible. Um, and so when I think about my business, I keep the values my dad put in me, like like, don't be scared of money and don't be scared of success. But then the other piece of me is like I do a lot of my business with empathy in mind in honor of my mom and how, she treated everyone, no matter whether they were a CEO or, she met Nobel Prize winners, and she also,
Wow.
met battered women who had a really tough time in life. She treated them all the same with the same
Hmm.
amount of respect and the same amount of kindness. And I try and do that forward in my business. I try and treat the customers like no matter who they are, they're all like very important to me. Um,
Hmm.
and same with the store owners. Like there a lot of the small store owners are totally ignored by brands.
Right.
And I put a lot of effort into making them feel like they're just as important to the brand as everyone else. And
Hmm.
that that's really the most that's like shaped how I do it. Um, and it's cool. I don't know,
That is cool.
it makes me really like my job, and it makes me really spring out of bed in the morning to run it.
That's so cool. I love that. And I think it's so cool that you had both influences, right? That you had
Yeah.
the more flowing mom and the more
Hmm.
like strict dad. But I think both of those like have their place and they both have their value. And it show I feel like you like seem like very balanced in that way where obviously you're able to run a company, which takes a lot of structure and takes a lot of like being able to like handle shit. But then
Yeah.
also I love that you've brought like that more like fully like femininity into it because as you said, you're
Yeah,
running your business the way that you want to run it. You're not following anybody else's playbook. You're making a business
totally.
that fits into you, into your values, into your life, which I think really at the end of the day, like I feel like there is kind of a shift towards doing business that way more. And I feel like
I hope
people want
so.
to see that more as those like authentic values rather than just a company saying we value equality or we value our employees.
Right.
Like instead of just saying it as a statement, like actually embodying it and living it, I think is something that people are really looking forward to.
I think so too. And don't get me wrong. Like I first started at art school in college, and then my dad was kind of horrified that I went to art school. And so I went to liberal arts school and to make my dad happy, I studied economics, science, and math. So
Hmm.
at the time I was really angry with him. Like I was like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then I actually fell in love with economics and math
Hmm.
and science, to be honest. And I'm actually grateful for how strict he was about
Right.
redirecting my life course because I think and I don't know like who I would be if I stayed in art school. I think I would have loved it, to be honest. But I think that the stuff that I learned, the really hard stuff, like econometrics is a very difficult class. Calc 3 and well, Calc 2 is the hardest, I think, of all. But like you have to
Yeah.
like those things are hard and I struggled through them. And I think that as much as I was angry with him, like looking back, like he actually did the right thing and
Hmm.
and by pressuring me to do those classes.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I'm not a parent yet, but like as a parent, sometimes you have to do those things for your kids that are going to make them mad at you, right? That's just
Yeah,
kind of like part of the tough job of being a parent. Um, but exactly that, and I think as you said, it turned out for the best because you were able to use it in a really real and practical way later on in
yeah,
your life, even if you never expected it to be here where you ended up, like it came in handy and it's just kind of like
yeah.
all those pieces fitting together.
It's weird how life takes those twists and turns and you're like, oh, actually, like
Hmm.
being able to like analyze stuff has been handy,
Yeah.
instead of panicking every time some spreadsheet comes my way. Um,
Right.
so it's weird. It's weird how you soften as you get older and you're like, my dad did the right thing there. But I was very angry with it for a long time because I loved art school.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine why. Yeah, because those two things seem like very opposite. At least in
They
my mind,
are.
they seem very opposite.
Yeah, everything's opposite. The social scene is opposite. Like I loved being among kind of, you know, people that march to the beat of their own drum in art school. Like everyone I
Mhm.
met was like a little bit weird and I like loved it. It made me
Yeah.
so happy. I eventually met my husband through art school, so it wasn't a
Oh,
total
cool.
loss. But yeah, it was more analytical when I went into these like math classes and we just talked about different stuff and I like missed art and I missed artists like the whole time I was doing it. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not with the right people. But it turns out, you find your people and everyone's a mix of everything. So deciding that people are like in your math class or not into art is like very shallow.
Mhm.
I learned very quickly like people are doing cool stuff and they're so multifaceted.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that people are like so multifaceted and I feel like you have to get to know someone for like a long period of time almost to really figure
Yeah.
out what all those different facets are because with my friends even like things that they do still surprise me. And I think
Yeah.
even then like as you go through life, you find new facets within yourself of things that you really like, as you
Yeah.
experience more and get to just go out and be in the world more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, life is so cool and like it's a way, it's really how you embrace every day. And I hope that people listening, like, you can take lots of twists and turns and you just never know what you might find yourself with a company you didn't know you were going to found, you
Right.
know. It's cool. Like I'm really thankful to have this conversation. I didn't know it was going to go this way, but it's like really fun.
Yeah, I know, me too. I feel like it's so funny because I feel like whenever I have a guest on here, like it does, like the conversations like kind of go all over the place. But I kind of like it that way, because it's just showing like every part of who the guests are, which is, as we just said, like it's so much more than just the one thing that they like that they're talking about or that they do. On that note, like what you were saying and what you have been saying, even you mentioned it with your mom too, it sounds like community is a very big thing for you. And I know that when you're starting a business, it can be very, very hard, and there's moments that feel even harder than others. So, can you touch a little bit on the importance of community to you and kind of how maybe you've used community to help you get you to where you are right now?
Sure. I think, if you consider yourself a multidimensional person, you kind of roll with all different types of people. And I think community and clubs and, whether you're doing sports or you're like in a knitting club or your book club, whatever you're doing that where you spend your free time, like that really shapes who you are as a person. Like, and being with other people and just laughing and like just that energy that comes with being with people that are like just enjoy the same things you do is
Hmm.
so magical. And so I would say even take that idea and bring it over into your company if you're starting one. And so for me, the energy I really loved was the refill movement. I loved meeting people who literally changed their whole lives and became like these renegades of consumerist culture and decided that they were going to open a refill store whenever, like at a time during Amazon or Target runs and Shein and all this stuff, they're opening up like the most counterculture store I've ever seen in my life. And so
Hmm.
for me, that's the community like I'm most drawn to because it's
Hmm.
like, oh, you guys are like the weirdos. Like you're like the business weirdos. You're literally going against the grain in everything we've been taught, like the 90s to 2000s, like, consumerist culture. Like you're coming out and changing how people shop too. And I want to be part of that. And the way I can be part of that, since I don't own a refill store, is to like use what I can to get people into your stores and create this kind of community that where we're all in it together. And as a brand, I bring our small retail stores on what people would describe as like influencer trips, except there's no influencers there. It's just like cool people from different neighborhoods all over the country. And like so we went to Morocco, a group of
Oh,
us. We call them dip trips and it's fun. We spent
I
2
love
weeks
that.
together as strangers and then, we started as strangers and came out as like really close and had like deep, intense conversations about sustainability and like the world. And then we did one in the Dominican Republic. I brought like our top 10 retailers from all over the country like out there. And again, like, you look at the world with different eyes. You're able to, there's people from Ohio and New Jersey and Virginia, like all sorts of different community centered stores that the owners came and like they got to swap what's working, what's not working, and
Hmm.
just their learnings is so exciting and like electrifying. And then we just had our biggest retreat ever in the Catskills where we had 24 of our stores
Wow.
attend. And, it was like a summer camp
Yeah.
exploration. So we did all sorts of like weird games and scavenger hunts. And it was just very silly. And like that was another one now after that retreat, all these people that didn't know each other like but we're kind of doing the same thing in different communities siloed or now have a web where they all
Hmm.
belong to the same experience. So that's a really big part of the brand and something I really cherish. And
Hmm.
it's also something like I don't think my competitors can mimic.
Right. Oh my God, so many things about that. That is so cool. One, because not only do you have this brand where you're helping with sustainability, helping to love the planet, helping like make these really quality products, but you're also a breeding ground for helping people find their people, which can be
Yeah,
such a hard thing for people to do, especially when you're
totally.
saying like that they're the weirdos. One, that's like totally my language. Like I always tell people that I love me a good weirdo. Not
Me
like Joe
too.
Goldberg from You weird, like not
Yeah.
crazy weird, but like like a good weirdo, you know?
Yeah.
But like you're helping to bring those people together in a
Hmm.
way where they're like really creating those big connections and those deep connections
Yeah.
with each other, which is so cool and so admirable.
It's so fun. Like it's just fun. It's fun to be around people that we're all kind of like, what are we doing here? Like we're trying to get people off of plastic. Like it's kind of crazy to do that. Um,
Yeah.
but it's fun and it's challenging. Like I don't want everyone to think it's like all fun. It's very challenging
Oh
to
yeah.
convince people like, hey, maybe try this instead, you know?
Hmm.
Try this laundry detergent, try this deodorant like that finally works, or try that, try this plastic-free whatever, toothpaste. Like there's so many different things you can do. And it's challenging, but the challenge is what makes it fun and it's what kind of brings the community together. Because I think if it was easy, we'd all be like competing with each other. But I think since it's
Yeah.
really hard, we're all together kind of in the mud,
Hmm.
struggling a little bit, but like a good struggle.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a struggle is always made better when you have good company with you,
Totally.
and it almost
Yeah.
makes it like the struggle worth, like way more worth it when there is someone that you can look back on and be like, do you remember that? That was crazy.
Yeah, yeah, and the stories of triumph that are out there in the refill world are like really great. Like there are some refill stores that have made huge impacts. Like in a year, 30,000 bottles saved, like
Wow.
50,000, 100,000. Like it's crazy. Like when you think
Hmm.
about visually what like 30,000 bottles is, plastic bottles, it's
So
like
many.
it's so many and they're actively making that difference. And so
Hmm.
there's refill stores in every state and we're not in all of them, we're in a lot of them. But like if you're listening to this and you're curious, like just go find the one near you.
And you can go to do you have the store locator on your website
I
too?
do. I do.
Okay,
It's
so you can find it
up
on
at
your
the top.
website.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Love Bug. I've got a juicy little gift for you. And if you've been feeling off, stuck in your head, or like your vibe just is not vibing lately, then this is for you. I created a free guide called The Three Secrets to Creating a Magnetic Energy Shift right now. And it's exactly what you need to start shifting your energy instantly. These are the exact tools I use with my private coaching clients when they're ready to stop chasing and start attracting. We're talking powerful, we're talking practical, and yes, of course, we are talking a little bit woo, but in the best possible way. In the guide, you will learn how to clear energetic blocks, activate your most irresistible frequency, shift into receiving mode, and there's even a bonus secret on how to use your body language to instantly boost your confidence and presence. So, if you're ready to feel like the version of you who turns heads, magnetizes opportunities, and walks through the world like the main character, then this is your sign. Head to the show notes and click the link to download your free copy. It is quick, it is powerful, and it is going to leave you feeling like, damn, I really am that girl. All right, let's get back into the episode. So I do have a few more questions. Since we were kind of speaking about you all like going through the trenches together and how it can be kind of challenging, what is one of the biggest myths about sustainable beauty that you wish just the everyday consumer, like me, would stop believing?
I think the biggest myth is just because you see it advertised a lot doesn't mean it's good.
Okay.
Um, you'll see a lot of really like there was a moment where bigger companies were like, oh, this sustainable this sustainability movement, like there's a lot of money in that. And like we should make a plastic free whatever shampoo bar, we should make a plastic free mascara, whatever you want to throw out there, or lipstick.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is that a lot of bigger brands rush to market. They rushed to market. They wanted to capture that audience and they wanted to like bombard people with advertising and get them that first sale, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times those bigger brands that really didn't understand the sustainable customer and what they're really looking for, they require like they don't have second purchases or third purchases. And
Right.
so I think what's really exciting about the discovery of really good plastic-free brands is getting people like into these stores. It's funny, it's counterintuitive to think like, oh, this one's advertised a lot, it must be successful. It's this one's advertised a lot because no one else is shouting it out for them, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I feel like that is like with anything, not just with like beauty products, but just because there's
Yeah.
more ads, just because the company has more money to throw behind it, does not necessarily mean that it's the better product. Um,
Hmm.
and that is such a good point, and I'm so glad that you brought it up because it is easy to think that the one that is like that you see more is going to be the better product, even if it's just
Right.
because that brand or that company had the money to do it, and that's why you're seeing it.
Yeah, it's something that I really learned a lot about once I became like I became a brand owner. It's like, oh, I see how this is working. Like they try and like, their whole goal is that first time buyer. They just want to get someone to buy it once. But
Hmm.
like the second, third, they don't worry. It's like kind of falls off. They're just trying to get new customers all the time. Whereas with Dip, like I've had people stay. They stay
Hmm.
for a long time. Like we don't have a lot of attrition. People sometimes switch to
That's
another
awesome.
cheaper brand and then like come back and they're like, I'm so sorry. Like people write, like, I'm so sorry. I tried
I
another one.
regret
They're
it.
like, it's fine. Like it's reasonable and rational, like rational for you to try and like save a little money or try something else. Like every time I'm at a hotel, even though I bring my dip bars, every once in a while I test the stuff that's like on the wall.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, like this
Yeah.
is not good.
Yeah, I feel like it always makes my hair extra dry, which is
Yeah.
like crazy because I have like finer hair and my hair
Mhm.
tends to be on like the more oily side. But
Yeah.
like when I use the like hotel shampoos that they have, usually like it gets like frizzy like
Yeah.
on the ends and everything. I'm like, this doesn't make sense.
It's because they focused on the refillability, but not on the product.
Hmm.
Like they put all of their energy into like, let's make a refill so it's on the wall and we satisfy these new laws. And but the reality is they didn't spend any time on what the like juice was inside.
Hmm.
Um, and sorry if you did, but sorry if you're listening and you're one of those people that is responsible for whatever is in these things, but they're not good.
But they're not good. Sorry,
They're
not
not good.
sorry.
I've tried every one.
But it's so true. And I think I mean, a quality product goes a long way. And for me, I always look for quality over quantity just because I'd rather spend more money on something
Yeah,
that I know is going to work well, that I know is going to be like long lasting or whatever it is,
totally.
rather than just having to replace something after like a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Well, you buy something that stinks, then you're back in research mode again.
Hmm.
Ugh, like I just want
Yeah.
to find something and stick to it.
Yes,
Um, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it
yeah,
saves
that's
so much brain power if you don't have to keep remaking a decision.
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited for people who are listening to discover the store closest to them that's like in their town. Um,
Yeah.
I hope you guys just discover. You don't have to buy anything, just go check it out.
Yeah, definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it because I mean, I don't know if I said this earlier, but even if you just get it to try it like you said, but the smell of it, like even if you just get it for the smell, I don't know how to explain it. Like your the like Dip hair care products smell so good. It's like natural smelling, but it smells so good. Like I showed my brother it and he's like a big like smell person and he was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa." And I was like, "Yeah." And
That
that's the
makes me
only way
so
to describe
happy.
it.
Yeah, and for anyone listening, we do use synthetic fragrance, which is like always a thing people ask why. They're like, why would you use synthetic fragrance? And what I learned when I was doing product development is that essential oils, one, the scents don't last, but also they're a lot sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they're cold pressed with pesticides on the plant.
Oh,
And then that
interesting.
goes into the products and it's not labeled on any ingredient deck. And so, yes, there's bad fragrance out there, synthetic fragrance, but there's also like really high-end, gold standard, internationally recognized as clean synthetic fragrance that don't have any pesticides in them
Oh,
and don't
cool.
have any known hormonal disruptors. And that's what we went with because I watched people buy hair care for a long time. And what people did was in almost any store, man, woman, child, they took the bottle off the shelf, they opened it, they smelled it, and then they
Hmm.
would read the front.
Yep,
Like that's how it worked. And
that's me.
so I was like, me too. That was me too. I wanted to believe that people would read the label first, but they don't. And I was like, well, I think what I'm learning is that people smell is so important and that should be like the way people choose. And so that's
Mhm.
how we built it.
Yeah, that's so cool. I think it's so cool. I mean, just hearing you talk about it, like you have obviously put a lot of thought into like every step of this process with Dip hair care. So I'm kind of curious, like you have such an amazing like lineup of products right now, but what is next for Dip? Like, is there anything exciting in the works, or where do you just see it going? What's next?
I'm I'm not sure I'm not sure what's next. I actually
Okay.
love the line as it is, and I have something that's in the works that I can't announce yet that
Okay,
is
fair.
really exciting, but I will come back and like tell you about it. But I I really, really love just having this core line that I'm so confident will keep people sustainable and keep people plastic free. And I think the biggest like next steps is that Dip is showing up in hair salons all over the country.
Cool.
And that is so cool. Like,
Hmm.
my heart is in like the refill movement, but my bragging rights are in salons.
Hmm.
Like I can't believe we made a bar shampoo and conditioner that salons have embraced. And that like it's the coolest pat on the back that I could have ever have is to have salon endorsements.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like that will also help like your retailers, right? Because
Yeah,
people are going to get it at the salon when they get their hair colored or they get their hair cut, and then
yeah,
they'll be able to go find the refill store and get it from there, which is cool.
yeah. And I have a salon that just put in their 18th reorder. And
Wow.
like that's crazy. Like to think that 18 times they've had to put in a wholesale order that like, they
Yeah.
buy a bunch at a time. It makes me so happy and I'm so grateful that that salon is really excited about bars in the first place, but also
Hmm.
like a slow to consume product.
Yeah, how exciting. So I know that we're coming up on the end of our time together, but just to wrap things up, what kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to create a values-driven brand but feels overwhelmed by where to begin because it can feel overwhelming, but you've done a really good job of really staying true to yourself. So what advice would you give to someone who's kind of at those starting stages?
So I think you have to be very clear about what your version of success looks like. And so you have to start with that and work backwards. And I would say the most important thing that you can do is like obsess over the product, obsess over it, and find the people that you think are going to be your customers and let them tear it apart like with their opinions. Be like, find your closest people. Be like, tear this product apart. Tell me what you love, but like one thing you love and like five things you hate,
Hmm.
and keep working on it until it solves a problem for someone. Because if it doesn't solve a problem, it's not really
Right.
um worth doing, to be honest.
Right.
It's really hard to sell a non-problem solving product, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I feel like if you can hone down on like really get clear on what that problem is and why you want to solve that problem, I feel like that will help a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Kate. This was such an amazing episode. Thank you for coming on. For anybody who wants to try Dip Hair Care for themselves, Kate was gracious enough to give you a discount. So if you go to the website, use code KRC Coaching, you do get 15% off. So you can try it for yourself. I'll put all of that info, the link to get there right in the show notes. And then, Kate, if anybody wants to get in contact with you or wants to learn more about Dip Hair Care, what is the best way and the best place for them to do that at?
Sure. So you can go to dipalready.com. You can go to the Instagram, which is at dipalready, or if you want to ask me like business questions, go to Kate Assaraf on LinkedIn and you're good to go. I'll be there. Just let me know that you heard me on the podcast because there are a lot of bots that reach out. So like let me know you're real.
You're a real person, please. Amazing. Thank you so much, Kate. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you next time.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you liked what you heard, then go ahead and subscribe so you get updates with us every week. You can also follow us on Instagram at KRC Coaching. If you're interested in working one-on-one, then go ahead and visit our website, krccoaching.com, to book your first 30-minute session for free. All right, thanks so much, you guys. Love you. Bye.